trying to say? I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. This is yours truly, Franco. Today, we have a very special guest, none other than Mr. Richard Lue. And Richard Lue is presently Director of Business at VP Records, and he will be joining us this morning to talk about a lot of stuff from tourism, wellness, and bodybuilding, food, music, you name it. Also, we're gonna be linking up with Flavius, my co-host. So in the meantime, if you got to get your tea, your coffee, whatever beverage you have this time of the morning, go ahead and go get it. If you have to go refill, like I do, go refill. The music in the background is Tafina. Let me let you listen more, and we'll be right back.
I forget out outside. I take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I breathe. Show the eye a clean pair of heels. I say, yeah.
Hi, this is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on the Real Stuff podcast. They're such great company.
Sayonara, a girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves.
This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome.
Jah all I'm asking for is a brighter day. Just send it our way, oh Jah. See ya. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day. A brighter day. Just send it come my way. Jah, why mankind so bitter? Turn them away from Lucifer. It's like some boy a drink devil soup for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It doesn't matter what the wicked say, the righteous will never run away. Oh, please, my car soldier, you are my guide and my protector. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. Two of them system design a lot of youth a suffer. No succumb to the pressure, so them no go for. No stop clap it up, now them a big time killer. And the same system melt them out like butter. Mama cry, papa ball, but it can't get better. Lifeless body lay down all over, so we have to turn we face out to the Father. And ask him for a brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. Them dirty system of fraud, oh Lord. We see clear down a yard and broad. How them a treat poor people like dog, while poor people life so hard. Oh, what a pity. Why so much homeless in a them city? Lord, what a calamity. You know, sister, this a world and not pretty. So we asking for a brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day now. We're looking for a brighter day, brighter day, yeah. A brighter day now. A brighter day, brighter day, yeah. A brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day.
Yes, looking for a brighter day. We're gonna link up with Flavius. Greetings, Flavius.
Morning, Franco. Morning, listeners all across the globe.
How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. It's a brightish day. It's not a bright day yet. It's a brightish day. Yeah, but I suspect it will become very bright soon. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have a brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day.
Nice, cool temperature. You know, it's not overly hot at this time. Nice, double temperature, man. Like last night was very nice.
Glad to hear that, man.
I wasn't in the chill factor. You know, we had a few months of that, but it seemed to be leveling off now, you know, in normal Jamaica temperature.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
That's what you guys want.
Yeah. And what I find in the last 3 or 4 days is that we don't get any rain in the day. We get rain in the night.
Okay.
When you're supposed to be in your bed, because curfew is 8 o'clock.
So we're basically not missing anything then.
No,
careful not to be indoors early. You're not missing anything.
Rain. The only thing is the rain on the roof. That's all. That's about it. You know, if you have a zinc roof, then you will hear it. It will play some nice music for you. A different thing if you have a concrete roof.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But things are nice.
Glad to hear, man. Glad to hear. So things are nice.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard anything about the vaccine and all that yet, because we're supposed to be getting a batch from India that India gifted us. I think they are gifting all the Caribbean islands some amount of vaccines. I'm not sure how many places. I know Barbados has gotten, and they probably have vaccinated most of them people already with that. Don't come yet. But a lot of people probably don't know, and I'm saying why India will be gifted vaccine that is so expensive to the Caribbean countries. But India is extremely close to the Caribbean countries, you know. Mainly because of cricket. They're tied. I have been in Barbados and Jamaica when India tours the West Indies. And there's no hotel room to be had, literally. They come in their thousands to watch cricket. They love cricket more than anything else in the world. And they flood the place with their traveling spectators to watch their team.
That's a good move.
Yeah,
and
man.
Come with your traveling spectators.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
That's more money.
All the countries.
That's more money for you too.
Do that, you know. No, man. Then tourism is that is part of the sports tourism, you know. The cricket. England travel with a big contingent too. also Australia. But India, nobody can compare to India. Because these people, they are bordering fanatics. They're very serious. And they spend the money. And they come and, the tour is like for 6 to 8 weeks or what, even more, and they spend the whole time. It's amazing. So it's always good to have them.
Yeah, man, it's good.
In fact, I remember when Savannah Park needed lights. And, we never had any money, and our prime minister at the time, Portia, sent out a call to our Indian counterparts, and in no time, we got the resources. Because they love Jamaica, they love the Caribbean, and they love cricket. Although we used to beat them up very badly. We can't beat them up now.
Why?
No.
Them gone back on top.
They're better than us now.
Oh.
Yeah, man, they're on top now. They are number one in the world now. Yeah, man.
Sure, we ease up, man. We ease up on how we used to select our players. The tournaments them that were put on.
Used to beat them up bad, man.
Yeah, man.
Look, it's that, In fact, I made a suggestion to Jordan one time. I don't know what he did with it. But my take on the whole thing is that the cricket is not the same. When you go in the villages, you're not seeing the young boys them with them coconut bat and them this kind of bar with them make and all these things. So the cricket is not coming out of them. It's more or less being put into them. A lot by parents, because when a man have a son and him figure say him like cricket and all that, him can buy him bat, ball, shoes, pads and all that. When we were growing up, we never know nothing about pads. If you make the school team, you might get to play in a pad. But because we had no pads, we had to defend our shins, our feet. So we had to learn to bat. But these guys, man, them have on too much things when they're too young, man. They're too young. They're not learning to, just like the footballers, the young footballers, from them born and buy boots for them. So them foot never get in contact with the ball. They don't have a feel on their natural skin of the ball. So they will never be as good as the old-time players who usually play barefoot and all that. Very serious thing.
It's a natural connection with the ball and the foot.
Yeah, man.
Just like with the feet and the ground, natural connection.
Of course. Yeah, but you have to learn to be on the ground, on the grass, barefooted, and having the ball, hit your feet and hit your body and all that. And same for the cricket. A lot of schools and all that use tennis balls for cricket and all that because the parents are afraid that the tough ball is going to hurt their kid. So they don't develop properly. And that's why they can't bat. I am convinced they can't bat because of that.
I hear you, sir. Anyway, what do we have for this morning?
Well, same topic that we're talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
Cricket, more cricket.
Okay.
And you will love this one. You will love this one this morning. Listeners, listen out for this one. You will love it. It is amazing.
All right. Well, let's go into it. Let's go into it, and then we can talk a little more after. Don't give them everything yet. Let's go into it.
No, we're not giving them everything. We're just talking about a twin.
Let's go. Wait till after. Wait till after.
All right. Okay.
Just take my advice. Everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend.
All right. Go ahead with Did You Know, Flavius?
Yeah, this morning we're going to look at the great game of cricket. Did you know, and would you believe, that 2 members of the West Indies international women cricket team, 2 of their highest achievers, were born 10 days apart and was selected for the team at the same time at age 17. They both have gone on to be world beaters. Yesterday we spoke about Stephanie Taylor, present captain, born the 11th of June, 1991. Today we will speak about Deandra Dotting, born the 21st of June, 1991. Could have been twins. Deandra Dotting, born 21st of June, 1991, is a Barbadian international cricketer and formerly track and field athlete, a right-handed batter and right-arm fast bowler. Dotting made her debut for the West Indies women's cricket team in June 2008. She plays as a hard-hitting low-order batter and scored the first century in a women's T20 international in 2010. In June 2018, she was named Women's T20 International Cricketer of the Year at the annual Cricket West Indies Awards. In September 2018, she became the 3rd woman to play in 100 women's T20 international matches during the series against South Africa. In August 2019, she was named as both the Women's ODI and Women's T20 Player of the Year by Cricket West Indies. In September 2020, in the last match against England, Dotting became the first cricketer to hit 100 sixes in World T20 internationals. Wonderful achievement. The 2010 World T20. In the opening match of the 2010 ICC Women's World T20, Dotting scored the first Women's T20 international century, scoring 112 not out against South Africa at Warner Park in St. Kitts. Coming into bat at number 6 in the 10th over, Dotting made her first 50 runs in 25 balls and then moved from 50 to 100 in a further 13 balls. In total, she hits 4 fours and 9 sixes in the innings, propelling the West Indies to a match-winning total. In addition to being the first century in Women's T20 International, her 38-ball century is the fastest by any female batsman in a T20 International. The fastest century scored for a male batsman is by Chris Gayle, who scored his century in just 30 deliveries in the IPL 2013 against Pune Warriors, India. 2018 World T20. In the West Indies opening match of the tournament against Bangladesh, Dotting took 5 wickets for 5 runs to take her first 5-wicket haul in World T20 International. The West Indies went on to win the game by 60 runs, with Dotting named as player of the match. She was a leading run scorer and wicket taker for the West Indies in the tournament, with 121 runs and 10 wickets in 5 matches. Following the conclusion of the tournament, she was named as a standout player in the team by the International Cricket Council. In November 2020, Dotting was nominated for the ICC Women's T20 Cricketer of the Decade Award. And that's your Did You Know for today.
Enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely blessed. My own homeland. North or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance, or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend.
Did You Know is brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica, uniquely Caribbean. So in case you didn't know, now you know. All right, Flavius, go ahead and tell them what you tell me. The floor is yours, sir.
That it is so remarkable that, you know, two people born at almost the same time in two different countries and had the same idea, the same type of, you know, activity. Two of them became great cricketers. I mean, they started at 17 and the biggest team in their region. So that alone tell you how good they were even at that age.
True.
And for the team to pick up two 17-year-olds at one time, that would mean that they were so outstanding. Because normally you bring in the youth slowly and you bring them one by one, you know. But these two ladies were so outstanding that the team had to grab them. Like I said, they are world beaters now. They are two of the best, not in the West Indies, but two of the best in the world.
Yep.
I think that went had an injury and she was out for a good time, you know, but she's back now. But those two, I could not believe that they were almost twins. You know, them always say about a brother from another mother.
Yeah.
Well, it's a twin from different mothers, two different mothers.
That's good. Huh?
That is really, really wonderful, man. And they started out great at 17, even before 17. And they are still at 29 now. And they are on top of the world. They have let up at all.
So it forgot.
You know?
That's how it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah, man. We really have to appreciate them, you know, show appreciation to these ladies. And the rest of their teammates. Because they have other people too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So I'm guessing that we're going to get more of these young ladies that play cricket.
Yes, man.
In the rest of Did You Know for the week.
Yeah, man.
All right,
I mean, they have actually won the World Cup already. T20 World Cup. So they're not language to the bottom and realize that they have. I think they are I don't think they are the defending champions, no, but they have won it in 2016.
Well, tell you what.
And they have a new coach now.
Coach Walsh is their new coach.
Okay.
So we see what will come up with him in charge. His record is very good in coaching. Also.
Before we bring in our guest this morning, we're going to play some music and then bring in our guest and then give you some time. All right?
Shuluhali Wadani, our time has come. Shuluhali Wadani, our time has come.
I'm giving you the service of the priesthood. Is the gift. Come on, master. How we go? That could I become? Sachike. Oh. Let you speak through me, the spirit of my Father. For the time has come for the ship to move amongst the wolves, to stop brothers from betraying their brothers to death, to stop fathers from betraying their children to death, and to stop children from rebelling against their parents and having them put to death. Let you speak through me, the spirit of my Father. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight, and what is whispered in your ear, proclaim from rooftops. Echoes your voice from my heart. For we do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul, but only being afraid of the one who can destroy the soul
our time has
and
come.
body in hell. Let you speak through me, the spirit of my Father. Let you speak through me, so that I can acknowledge you before men, so that we can be acknowledged before God our Father in heaven. For we are worthy more than many sparrows. For we have taken our crosses to follow you. For we have found our lives to lose them, and we have lost our lives to follow you. For your reward is the destiny of our lives. Let you speak through us, the spirit of our Father, and give us the authority to drive out evil spirits and heal every disease, and to raise the dead and heal every sickness. Spare us from your wrath, Father, and let not your cold ones shake the dust of their feet on our account. And let not your calamity worse than Sodom and Gomorrah rest upon our lives, but let your love and peace rest upon our lives forever and ever. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Tino shiga kweyo hande iwa wangu hande iwa wangu iwe hande iwa wangu tino shiga kweyo Rima sava adama gabre bokla bibi asa le bromo sova ba ande suvebe kansa la brabini mala brusa veme agne mora bane costa la braiga masa Jem numero sape conta pa uste belambra gisha pa acante l'ombro pa che male prosomi che bella pra uste e macale demo sove Cimna vosu che panteo consati belama rikende o che palle prosoma pa use Nara, Jim Nemereba, Libo Samaha, Etnamari Devon Sadi Bola, and the Sofa Kide Male, until we are not something against celebrate in Abraham, Somna, Akile Prosibo Shap. Montego Bay, Rayfan Sai, Kame, Kala Sofe, Adam Brehikeman, Resopa Ate, Blehave, Koma Sabebe, Namoste, Velamra Azale, Bresomagan, Etneme Bale, Crossavama Azole Brehen. Lena, Liprosova, Maredeva, Gemna Maridiga, Esane Mole, Vonte, Clippy and Dose, Kimale Prosema, Lisa Vama Seva, Kande, Rima, Jamahade, Riva Celebrahade, Marese Foma, Libidan, Sele Ekrobahadi Massive, in a mighty name.
Shulohale Wadani, our time has come. Shulohale Wadani, our time has come.
You are one you are one Tino Shiga, Tino Shiga, Tino Shiga, you are one you are one you are one Tino Shiga, Tino Shiga, Tino Shiga, thank you so much, Carbon Master. In Jesus' name, amen.
Shulohale Wadani, our time has come. Shulohale Wadani, our time has come.
Walking on sand and holding your hand, feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland, enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely blessed. My own homeland. North or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend.
Yes, our listeners. Let me tell you a little about our guest this morning. A veteran of the travel and tourism industry, Lue comes from a family of hoteliers. He cut his teeth during the late 70s on the then new style of club hotels, mainly the Seawind Beach Resort, before moving to the Jamaica Tourist Board. At the JTB, he served for a total of 13 years, first in Montego Bay and later in Los Angeles as marketing executive for California and the neighboring states. His experience in developing marketing strategies for Jamaica's tourism and his skill in fielding trade shows and educational seminars for the travel trade won him an invitation from Air Jamaica to join the newly privatized airline's marketing team. Joining us this morning is a gentleman I've seen, known by sight, and I know he's also an executive at the VP Records, Real Stuff Podcast. Help me welcome this morning the one and only Mr. Lue Richards. Mr. Richard Lue. Hey, you see, I'm a customer calling you Lue, because that's what we call you when we see you at the show. Hey, Lue. So nobody call you by your first name who really know you.
Yes.
So
yeah.
welcome.
Well, you know it, go at least you're calling me, right?
Yeah. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the real stuff chat session.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here with us this morning. Really glad, because there's a lot of stuff that, you know, I know our listeners, our viewers want to know as well what is happening. We know that the pandemic has, you know, stopped a lot of stuff, especially entertainment. I feel that you're familiar with, because you're part of the VP crew that put on some of these events, sponsor a lot of them. And we know we have to stay indoors and do things virtually now.
Yes. I mean, it's a great week for you for us to have this conversation. I'm sure you guys saw the Berries live stream.
Yes. I saw a piece of it. Well put together too. Well put together.
Oh, you mean piece? You never watched the whole thing?
No. When I say piece, I never see when his son was doing the early juggling, because
it's on the YouTube channel.
I miss out on the early juggling by his son, but I saw when Berries enter stage, and you know, so I have to say a piece, because I missed the first segment of it.
Yeah, no, it's up on the YouTube channel, so you can. You know, somebody was commenting on one of the comments, you know, on Sunday, because they were watching numbers grow, right?
Yeah.
And them see jump up, and even like 15 minutes towards the end, it was still growing, right?
Yeah.
And people said typical Jamaican, them come even virtual, even a virtual event, them come late.
You know, a friend was there with me. You know, I was watching it on my phone. He was watching it on his as well, and he said to me, "Franco, with the 98,000, you know," I said, "We are talking about him." Said 98,000 people, and then he said, "Right, it gone 105." Just like that.
Well, we ended the night probably at about 175,000.
Yeah.
Because because On Stage carried it, and a few other. You know, I'm telling you, we produced this thing, and I was more or less responsible. You know, for the production, for the overall project, and when well, that's what I do for VP. You know, I also produce all the events. That's why him see me at the shows, and them always call me Lue. Because, you know, these media people always trying to get to places where they don't belong.
There you go. I was saying it to a friend this morning, and him said, "Oh, you know, Lue, I think it was Courtney." And I say, you know, when we used to go to these shows, and if you want to really see an artist, you can't go backstage, because, you know, the media booth and the media could only go certain places. And if you know somebody, you could ask them, "Hey, can I get a peep of this artist?" Just say, you know, ask them a question. And one of the person that, if you know, not all the time, but, you know, him just say, "Well, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You can't go around there and stay back there and linger." You know, and that's so that's how you get a piece of the action. You know, if Lue is there, you say, "Lue, I want it's a 5 minutes," and him say, "All right," and boom, and you have to come back out.
Yeah. So it's amazing how many other YouTube channels we're seeing carrying the show now.
Well, from my estimate, you know, somebody in England tell me say it hit about
that I didn't give permission.
Okay.
No, that I didn't give permission.
Okay.
But you know how, you know, but what are we going to say? Everybody loves Berries.
Yeah, man.
So I'm saying that live viewership on the night probably was about 175 when you add in all the other little people that were carrying it. I didn't know how they got the feed.
I said 200. Right? I go with my English counterpart. Him said leak about 200,000. The reason why him said that, because people get it late in Europe.
No. Wait. No, we not reached that yet. We are at almost 700,000 already on our YouTube today.
Okay.
So we will reach it will reach the million, but I'm talking about live at the night.
Live at the night, I'm talking to him. Said leak about 200,000.
You know, so the variable is that we were also live on TVJ and RETV in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you could add another 500,000 to that.
Yeah.
You know, Jamaican people that were watching TVJ.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was well put together, man. Well put together.
Well, we had our wrap-up meeting yesterday, and I told people that, and I guess we can segue into when we talk about my career, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are a few times I felt like how I felt on Sunday night in my career.
Yeah, man, I can imagine.
First time was, one of the, and I'll mention them, was when the first Air Jamaica Jazz and Blues in Jamaica in 1996. Right, was in the first one. I don't know if you guys remember. That was at Rosal Great House.
Yeah, man.
I felt that. I felt that same feeling because we were. I was the original chairman of the group because I worked for Air Jamaica at the time to put on this festival, and we really put on that festival in less than 2 months. So when it's happened with all these international artists, I had a very great feeling. Right. The other time that I felt the same way was when we put Celine Dion on stage.
Okay, yeah, that was
in Jamaica.
Yeah,
you remember that one?
Yeah, that was really
I was involved in that, and I had the same feeling. The other time I felt that also was when we put 30,000 people in Prospect Park, Brooklyn. Do you remember Islands in the Park?
Island in the Park, I heard about that one.
The first one was a free concert we did.
Okay.
In Prospect Park, Brooklyn, 30,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was when I put another 20,000 people at the Powerade Center in Toronto, right? Out on the grass. I remember standing on stage. It was once again a free event,
Mm-hmm.
I remember standing on stage, looking at the people come across the grass to come into the venue, and it was like, imagine that what people looking like walking through Egypt back in them days, because it's summer and the sun was hot, and people, like when the people leading Moses leading the flock, right?
Yeah,
it was people was just coming and coming, and the other time I felt the same way was just this was one of the hardest events I've ever produced, but it was when we did Washington, D.C. on Pennsylvania Avenue for the Jerk Festival, right in front of Trump Hotel before it was open. Mm-hmm. We were preparing for 3,000 people. We had about 9,000 people turned up and blocked out. We took 2 blocks of Pennsylvania Avenue. And, those times I felt the same way I felt Sunday night when we kicked off. And I want to say that I've been blessed to work for visionaries, for people that have allowed me to implement ideas for the team, From my time with the Jamaica Tourist Board, back in my younger days, it was, selling Jamaica with passion, to working under the leadership of a Butch Stewart and Alan Chastity, who is now the Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, yeah.
So let me ask you, Lou.
He was my boss, and they allowed me, to just go with the vision and provided me with the resources to working for the Chins at VP Records, because at the end of the day, Richard Lue don't have no money, I'm just a worker. I'm a passionate. So people, I've been blessed to. So when Mr. Christian came to me from last September, we've been planning this Paris event.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to do it for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But the COVID, we had to move it, and we moved it and the date moved and we were chasing because we wanted to have a small audience at least.
Yeah.
And it couldn't happen. And then we had to, So when he said to me, Richard, we have to do something for Beres, and because Beres likes to tour and he hasn't been touring and he's resting, he wants to do something for his fans. So, thanks to VP and the Chins for allowing me to lead, and do one of the biggest, best events that have come out of Jamaica this year. I mean, during these circumstances.
True. I applaud you for that too as well, my friend.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I want to dive right into it to find out. When you started in the 70s, right? Were you just coming out of high school, college?
Yeah, well, first of all, me, you know, I'm a Jamaican to the T, right? You know, I wouldn't call me Chinaman, but,
yeah.
You know, my mother, I was born in a place called Spalding's First Junior Hospital. But
yes,
my family, but my family live up in a, whenever you bought a place in Cooley Mountain.
Cooley Mountain?
Yeah.
No.
At the top of the hilltop in Manchester.
Yeah. I want
to know about Marley Hill over there. So Marley Hill, that's the only place I know in Manchester.
I think I went up there one night, you know. We did a one day, all day. I think we had, I can't remember, it's probably Domino.
Yeah, man. Cooley Mountain. All right. You know Devon, right? All know about Devon, right? And where the pick a pepper factory.
Yeah, I know the pick a pepper factory. Yeah.
You make, I think it's a right and go up a hill, so.
Okay, when you reach the pick a pepper factory, you make the right.
Yeah, you make a right and go up the hill, and you end up at forgive the beeping, somebody trying to call me. Yeah, but you end up at the geographical center of Jamaica.
Okay.
Up in that beautiful mountain. So anyway, that's where my family, we had the China shop up there, you know.
Okay.
And then my mother, who was the eldest daughter, moved to Montego Bay. And I stayed with my grandmother, and then she moved down, and then the family moved to Mobay. Okay. And my mother, who I give credit for everything in life, you know, next to God. She started in the tourism business as a secretary, a hotel called Colony, you know, which is now the Half Moon.
Okay.
And then I lived with my grandmother. I'm a Mobay boy, you know, First Avenue, if all the Montegoians listening. Family still lives on First Avenue, my cousins and stuff. I went to infant school.
Yeah.
And then the great Coronel Avenue Primary School. You never hear about Coronel Avenue Primary School?
No, I never hear about that. Flavius?
No.
All right. No need for research on a Mobay. I'm a Kingston man, I'm a countryman, right? Coronel Avenue Primary School
is a countryman too.
Is where his Excellency Howard Cook went.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, primary school. Yeah. It is one of the I would say, you know, in Jamaica you have primary school, you have prep school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was one of the most well-known primary schools in Jamaica, right? Because if you know Mobay, right, you have boys' school and you have girls' school, and them separated by one wall. And I don't know why, because both of them co-ed.
Oh, like a Woolman's thing.
But boys' school is not. But these are primary school. No, both of them co-ed.
Okay.
But these are primary schools.
Okay.
All right, and boys' school is the one called Coronel Avenue Primary School, and girls' school is the Barrackswood Primary School. Okay. But we were separated by a wall. So anyway, I went there, and then from there I went to Cornwall College.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And then I went to live. I went to live with my mother. Yeah, man. And then I lived with my mother. Went to live with from my grandmother to live with my mother at the hotel. She was at Upper Deck first, and then she went to Seawind Beach Resort, and my living in the hotel business was when I moved to live with my mother at the time, and I was 11 years old at the time. Yeah. But growing up from birth to 11, I was with my grandmother and raised in a Chinese shop.
Mm-hmm.
If you know down the market, right, Charles Garden Market in Mobay, we had a supermarket down there. And that's where I spent my early years when I was living with my grandmother and my uncles. I mean, my uncle
run the business on Saturday with them.
Absolutely, and after school. But my uncle, you guys might know him, was a big pastor in Spanish Town. He's a elder in the Open Bible Church, Reverend Cedric Lue.
Reverend Cedric Lue.
Yeah, Spanish Town.
Okay.
He
Spanish
died.
Town Open Bible Church, right?
Spanish Town, Glad Tidings, Open Bible.
Yeah.
He started that first church in Montego Bay. Then he moved the family. And when he died in 2000, he was like a big elder in the church. So I share this with you.
That same Open Bible is affiliated with the one on Washington Boulevard, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but he was an elder in the overall church. In other words, when he died, his funeral was at the Open Bible Convention Center right out there on Washington Boulevard.
Okay.
Where used to be the Berwick factory.
No, because that Open Bible, my sister used to attend that Open Bible. So I went there when they have some big, I think it was some church, big function like them that say all the churches come there.
Yeah. My uncle was big and he died in I think it was 01. But the point is, I say this, because a lot of people see me over the years, whether it was in Los Angeles or whether it was in New York or when I lived in Florida or even now, and they don't understand my background because I have an international representation. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody know about your background until maybe now.
Yeah. Me just a humble youth from Coleman. Grew up in a Mobile. Lived on First Avenue, right beside Church Park.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And who family, even though we are a Chinese family, my uncle big in at the Open Bible Church, which is a big, in the Jamaican religious tradition, right?
True.
So you cut me bleed black, green, and gold, boss.
I love that. I love that, boss. I love that. So, tell me a little bit about when you were working with Air Jamaica and you were putting on all these events,
Well, to segue, because I realized, he's like a politician. We didn't answer your first question. Growing up at Seawind, you did ask my question, and that will segue into Jamaica.
Yeah.
Growing at Seawind, as the general manager's son, right? We get to live in a hotel and play and do everything. Back in the early 70s, you remember, there was a time when Jamaican people never ever used to go in a hotel,
Oh, you're right.
And the only time you hear reggae music, right? And the only time you hear reggae music is during holiday time, when maybe Byron Lee or Zappo or one of them band from Kingston would come on the North Coast come play some music, right? And then, all you would hear was the mentor band. And one or two hotels that could afford a little band, is Jazz and Ipanema and all of them things, them on their play. You understand?
Yeah.
So when in the 70s, when, we started this hotel, we realized that mass tourism had to happen. We got to get people coming in. So Seawind pivoted into a more entertainment-driven hotel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And credit must be given to Negril Beach Village, that started this whole all-inclusive concept. Right? Negril Beach Village was the first couples in Orchard. The Issa family started it.
Okay.
So once again, credit is given to them. Couples was one of the first original all-inclusive, where all the food, drink, everything is included, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Issa family standouts came after, so just so that whoever is listening to this know, don't dispute, Jamaican people have controversy. Richard Lue said it, no. Couples and Negril Beach Village. And in Negril Beach Village, in Negril, them used to use things called
Half Moon wasn't doing it either. Half Moon wasn't doing it.
No. Those were luxury hotels.
Okay.
You had luxury hotels. Yeah, there were no all-inclusives back then. You had small hotels. You had luxury hotels. So there's a company called Club Med that started the all-inclusive concept, which was never really all-inclusive, only food and partying, but they had to pay for drinks.
Yeah.
We brought that, the Issas brought that to Jamaica with Negril Beach Village, hedonism. And that's how it started. But one of these things, and this was not the intention, but it was not necessarily inclusive of locals.
Okay.
So if you never had big money, you couldn't go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only locals really were the workers, right? And then you had the exclusive hotels that we won't really get into this now, whether they were discriminating against locals or that's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't. So Jamaicans really avoided hotels.
I'm glad you mentioned it. Honestly, I'm really glad you mentioned it.
It's a 50-50. Other than small hotels which were run by owner, your brother, your cousin, you could stay at the hotel when you go. But all about the Jamaican extent was going to, Jamaica holidays. You go to Puerto Rico Beach or you go to Negril Beach and you bring your food and you pack your thing. And that was how we grew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
At Seawind, we saw a void where Jamaicans could enjoy the great entertainment.
Sure.
So we started a club-style hotel under my mother's guidance, she was the general manager at the time, or the assistant manager at the time. And the manager was a man called Tony Henry, and the vision of a man called Tony Hart, who passed about 6 months ago. Mr. Hart, big Montego, and then he was into politics. I'm sure you guys
Flavius,
know him, right?
You know him, Flavius? Okay.
He was responsible. He was very responsible for the Montego Freeport development.
Mm-hmm.
And through his vision at the time, we decided we wanted to create a big entertainment program at the hotel. And we bought equipment, drums, band equipment and so. And we hired a musical director.
Okay.
A gentleman called Tony Da Costa, who was one of the original Scatterlights.
Yeah, I hear about Tony.
Right, he was our musical, and he's one of my mentors, one of the men that influenced me in this business. And we hired young musicians from around town, including the Montego Bay Boys and Girls Club.
So that kicked off the hotel cabaret
entertainment business in Montego Bay, and we had a resident band with full-time employed musicians.
So that's how AJ Brown used to have all those gigs down.
BMC AJ first show.
Okay then. Okay.
All right. And then we started the entertainment circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of musicians. So you see, and a lot of Jamaican. Eh? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You broke up. I didn't get the question.
Him break up right there. But you continue. When he fix up.
You like the story, right?
Oh yeah, because I used to wonder how AJ Brown and all these guys used to.
Richie Stevens.
Yeah, used to have the gigs down on the North Coast,
Right. So we started it at Seawind.
Oh, he's saying Ozzy D and Stevie G.
But even before them time, people like we were doing cabaret. Because here's what happened, right? So we had the band, and we had the average age of the band was like 18 years old,
Okay.
Full hand section, but you had a man like Tony Da Costa that mentored these young people. So it became a churning out for also musicians, because unfortunately, in the day, if you weren't a studio musician in Kingston or you never played for the big band, then you never had an opportunity as a country musician.
You're right.
You had to move to Kingston to become a studio musician or get lucky with a Zach Poe, Byron Lee, all of those bands that was happening at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So at Seawind now, we then rotated because we had 6 nights of live reggae music, first time in any hotel.
Oh.
So we had the band. They played from Tuesday to Sunday. And then you had the standard, and Negril Beach Village too, by the way, just to give them credit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then now we had Monday night was beach party. That was the band night off. Tuesday night cabaret, Wednesday night cabaret, Thursday night cabaret, Friday night cabaret, Saturday night cabaret, and Sunday was the big show with the fire dance and limbo and the Caribbean show.
Yes.
That was a standard rotation. So here was the schedule for the band. 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 8:30, dinner music. So the bands were playing jazz, Ipanema, them kind of music. Then 8 o'clock, 9, they take a break. Then 9 o'clock is showtime. And then 9 to 9 to 10, 10:30 was the show. And then 10:30 to midnight is dance music. So that is what established reggae music into the hotel.
Yes.
And because we had to pay the bills, we were not all inclusive at Seawind. So we welcomed locals.
Oh, so locals were able to come in on a weekends?
Any time to just watch the show. All we had to say is support the bar. You know, we didn't want anybody to light or just come in. But we never had. And then we developed one of the biggest disco them in the 70s, 80s. Flavius, you ever heard about the cave?
Yeah, of course, yes.
The cave at Seawind, right?
Yeah.
I have a DJ friend used to come to the Seawind, and play disco on a Sunday night. But he was leaving all the way from Kingston, so he would come down on a Friday. But I thought at the time it was a little hotel the way he used to talk about it, trying to make a name. But here you talking about it seemed like it was a big thing going on and true in Kingston.
Well, listen, the amount of musicians right now, Maxi Priest full tour, half of Maxi Priest touring band came through the Seawind band, TDA.
Okay.
Right? Some of the greatest musicians right now, brother named Junior Jazz, started. When he started at 17 years old and the guitar was bigger than him. Right? And these musicians are all over. Taddy P, the bass man right now.
Taddy P in Canada, right?
No, man, Taddy P in Mobile.
In Mobile, okay. Oh, Tad's Records. He's the one in charge.
No. Taddy P play bass for Maxi and his Maxi Priest, yeah. I mean, Benji Myers was also another bass man for TDA. Yeah, a lot of these guys, and a lot of the guys that started their cabaret, AJ Brown, I MC this first show. I mean, a lady named Faith Aguilar. I mean, Richie Stevens, and then once we started at Seawind, then we a lot of hotels started the circuit. So a singer like AJ could do Seawind Tuesday, Holiday Inn Wednesday, Trelawney Beach Thursday, Orchard Hotel Friday.
I'm going to tell you, them time the AJ run the North Coast, man.
And that is the understated entertainment story in Jamaica today, and more people need to tell that story because the hotel industry, there's always the Kingston versus the country business. So while Kingston get credit as the home of reggae music, a lot of the musicians honed their expertise and became.
So basically, the best of the best really started out from down there, so because you had the best some of the best musicians coming through the hotel circuit.
Well, it was consistent work.
Yeah.
Remember that. A musician could be a musician for the first time, where if a man work 7 nights, as opposed to only when you get a studio call. I mean, if there was 100 musicians good enough to do studio work in Kingston, 1,000 musicians got employed throughout hotels across Jamaica.
Somebody just text me a question for you. Say, can those type of entertainment come back now on the hotel circuit in Jamaica, because they have been to many hotels and we don't see anything like this now?
Yeah, man, it's a big question.
Well, yes, it just has to be. And listen, man, I go into hotels today, right? And I see the entertainment. All of these big hotels, have a reggae band.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also the influence of the Hispanic, the Spanish people. But there's a reggae band in every hotel right now.
But they're not carrying the caliber of entertainment that once used to be there.
Because, that's there's so much competition.
I say, no, them not getting that no more.
Yeah, but you see, in my days, life was easier, boss. You get me? You go to a man like AJ straight out of school, him say, listen, him get a break, him make a money, and albeit no big money,
Yeah.
If he was getting paid $100 after the show, it's $100 if a young schoolboy out of Mobile, you know what I mean? And we have $100 US or whatever back in them day, right?
But he had work all 6 nights.
Yeah, but now the business has gotten more formal, and unfortunately, as the business gets more formal, then you get competition. Now you have to go through management, and now that you have to go through management, and people are requiring minimum, and people that are up and coming are demanding big salaries, and hotels can't afford, so there's a lot of reasons. Because I tell you, there's a reggae band in every hotel on the North Coast. So all of them big hotels have a reggae environment. The problem or the challenge, I think, is they're fully all-inclusive, and it's expensive to go in there, right? Not many hotels anymore, you can just walk in, enjoy the reggae music live, and have a drink at the bar.
You have to buy a day pass.
Correct. So the business has changed. And that is why if we want to make a change as a consumer, we need to support our Jamaican-owned independent hotels so that they can survive by providing the entertainment. Because you all know, if you run a hotel, it's your bar that makes you the money.
Yeah.
You don't make no money off of
a room in
hotel rooms. The hotel room rate is just to pay the electric bill. It is the restaurant and bars. So we as middle-class Jamaicans that can afford it must support, and I'm not saying this against all-inclusives. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of those people that tell you that all-inclusives back in the 80s, as a man that has been thrown out of travel agencies for selling Jamaica because they think we kill tourists. Back in the 80s, that has happened to me,
Yeah.
People, I walk in and say, Mr. You represent Jamaica? Don't come in here. We don't even sell Jamaica. You guys are the worst destination in the world. I was told that to my face in California.
Wow.
All right? So, but to answer the listener's question, we as, there's more than enough for everybody. We all need to adapt our Jamaican-owned small hotels as Jamaicans because they are not necessarily all-inclusive, right? So when you go in there, even if you don't stay at the hotel, drop a couple bills at the bar on a Friday night. Make it your regular place. Then eventually the owner can have a reggae band every Friday night and help to pay for that. Just like the Signal, any bar or anything here. So in the Grill, Montego Bay small hotels, I've seen many of them tried it. Even my mother started to try it. I mean, because before she died, we started Coral Cliff. And the gaming lounge at the time was the largest gaming lounge in Jamaica. And that's the only place in Montego Bay where you have consistent live music even today. That was started by my mom.
Okay.
But not every small hotelier have the money to invest in a facility like Coral Cliff. Right? Because Coral Cliff is a world-class facility.
Okay.
But not everybody have the money to do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. I want to hear something. I want to hear something about your full of ideas that marketing. I heard about it long time before I see it in the bio. So I want to hear. I said when you come, I'm going to ask you. Do you still using full of ideas?
No, man, no. So all right. So one night time I got restless at Air Jamaica, right? And after I think it was 2005. After being with Air Jamaica 10 years, right? And I wanted, all of us as Jamaican, we love the hustle, ambition, right?
True.
So I decided to leave Air Jamaica because we weren't sure with the government change or what was happening. As every young body thinks about my reputation would make me some big money by myself, I got a rude awakening, boss. I realize that. I tell this to anybody that work for companies and other people that allow you to do your job. It's not easy when you think you can go out on your own.
Okay, true.
Because when you're paid to service people is one thing. When people need to pay you directly to do the same thing you used to do for them when somebody else was paying you, they don't want to pay you now.
Yeah, it's another thing, true.
Right? But let me tell you, this was a time I worked with another visionary, a gentleman called Garfield Monroe. Right? And I forgot to mention him in the beginning when we talk about people that influenced me, you know. I mean, Danny Dawson, my first JTB manager out in California. You know, I talked about Mr. Butch Stewart and Alan Chastaney, and I talked about Chins today. Well, this gentleman, you know, Garfield Monroe, he's a Montego-ian, he's a world-renowned eye doctor. And, you know, our paths cross in LA and in Jamaica. And he had, I don't know if you guys remember a hotel in Negril called Poinciana.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember Poinciana back in the 70s, 80s, right?
Yeah,
Poinciana Beach Hotel.
Yeah.
So, and it goes back really, it's a good segue to what I was talking about, support your Jamaican-owned hotels. Right? So here was a Jamaican-owned hotel living in LA, and I know in business. And when he knew I was restless, I told him, he said, hey, make me try a thing, no? He said, what do you mean? He said, he helped me start up my marketing company called Full Ideas, because people always say, man, you're full of ideas. And I said, yeah, but we don't have no money, right, to implement the ideas. So he and I started the company. And the project that I worked on with him that I'm very proud of is the Cool Runnings Water Park. He owned the property across the street from the hotel, Poinciana, which is, I don't remember what hotel it is now, but he sold the hotel, right? And together with him and I, he wanted to create a water park. And that's when it was all happening and once again, you know, it's like my calling is to balance the tourism and locals, right? Because there were water parks, but they were in hotels, like big pools with slides, you know what I'm saying? So he wanted to have a water park for the public and the hotel, and we were trying to do it as an amusement park. So he and I joined, and it was with his vision and my, you know, so we came up with the whole Cool Runnings thing, and I worked with him, our company Full Ideas, together. We developed the marketing concept, the manatee, you know, I came up with the name Rasta Manatee.
Okay. Rasta Manatee.
That's why that's why the symbol was Mikey the Manatee, and he was a Rasta Manatee. And we opened it up, and that was, and I did a few different projects, but it was very tough to make men's meet at the time because I was not getting the clientele. Because a lot of the small hotels that I wanted to help merge the diaspora market and so on, which was my specialty, just couldn't afford it, and the big hotels want the foreign company. Them, you know what I mean? So. It was 2 years I did it for. I enjoyed it. The Cool Runnings Water Park, every time I pass it there, I feel, and Dr. Monroe still runs it, I think. And that was something I when we opened up, it was good because the Rasta Manatee was always my idea. And the marketing of it. And then, you know, it actually segues me into another big thing that I felt in my life, right? Is when, at the time, of Full Ideas, I was trying to get Air Jamaica back as a client.
You wanted to get them back as a client?
To do what I used to do for them while I was employed.
Okay.
Because if I had Air Jamaica as my client, because when I left Air Jamaica, I was director of special market sales, which included the Jamaican diaspora and the community all around the world. So I was the face of Air Jamaica in the community. So people would know me, you know what I mean? And because one of the things Mr. Stewart said, you know, management, and especially executive management, must be accessible to the customer.
Okay. You hear that,
and
Flavius?
I was that. So when things went bad, like, you know, bumping flights and Christmas and busy time, we couldn't be in our office or hide. We had to be out front talking. And I think I personally earned a lot of respect from Jamaicans that are in touch with me today because of my role at Air Jamaica, you know? And the philanthropic stuff we did at Air Jamaica, where we brought in a lot of...
Because all problems, you have to be there to help solve it right there.
And I was in marketing and sales, so that the people doing the work can do the work.
True.
You know what I mean? The people
That's
flying
good,
the
man.
plane, the
That's
people.
good.
So my job was to be involved with the alumni associations, and all of that. So when I was trying to say, listen, I can still do it. By then, Air Jamaica had gone back to the government. And I was called in. I said, yeah, man, I'm going to get the contract.
Yeah.
And then I can pivot my business, because any kind of business, right, like that, need a good anchor client.
That's true. That's true.
You know? And then you can do everything else. So when I got called to the president's office, and true, I have always been apolitical. Just let me make it sure. My mother was a staunch comrade. And I will say this right now. Yeah, I support the PNP 100%. Just because we were rolling in Jamaica.
No problem. Yeah.
No. Because my mom would roll in our grave if I did otherwise. So, right, I've met Mr. Michael. I've met Dudley Thompson back in those days. So I say this with no apology, but I am apolitical. People who know me and know my mother know where we roll.
Yeah.
But I was apolitical when it comes to my work. That's Jamaica first, right? So I never tried to pull any political punches to get back a job with JTB or to get back from my private company. I never do that, because I don't like to owe nobody nothing.
Never let them grant you any favor.
Right. That is something that I live by. So I don't ask for it.
Yeah.
So when I was called back to Air Jamaica, I said, yes, I got it on my own fruition. The man them said, no. We don't want you. You hire you as a firm. We have a challenge for you. So I said, what is it? You remember the World Cup of cricket?
ICC.
Right.
Yeah.
So I met with the president of the company, and he says, there's a big concern in CARICOM. Because remember now, the government owned Air Jamaica, right? That the cricket fraternity don't believe that these little third world countries should be hosting no world-class event.
You're talking about the World Cup tournament in what, 2010?
2007.
07?
Yeah. 07, yeah.
Okay.
When the Caribbean
hosted. Yeah.
And the president at the time, I don't remember the name of Air Jamaica, said that they are concerned, the governments are concerned that our weakest link in hosting this was the transportation system. Because on a good day you couldn't get from St. Vincent to Jamaica without going through Miami.
Yeah.
And it takes 20 hours and delayed flights and all of them things, right? So we had 7 countries.
And no peanuts.
Yeah. And 7 countries was hosting 16 countries, and we had to move them around the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
So they need somebody to plan the transportation strategy for the World Cup.
Oh, so they bring you in back for that now.
So he said, and I come highly recommended.
Good.
And I'm like, excuse me, can I do it from a company? I remember, I'm trying to push.
Your company,
can I do it under my company? Because if my company, Richard Lue, them say, no, I needed you to come back to Air Jamaica because you need to be an employee.
Okay.
Right? I need you because I need to give you the authority of an employee.
Not as a company. Okay.
Not as
a small company or a private company.
Not as a private person, because remember now, this was a government-owned carrier, and the governments and CARICOM, so they couldn't send me to negotiate on the behalf of Air Jamaica and the government of Jamaica as a private person. So I went back to Air Jamaica as director of World Cup cricket and special markets. And I was given the autonomy to pull together British BWE, which then became Caribbean Airlines, Star, which was a little airline down in the Eastern Caribbean, and LEAT. And we formed a conglomerate to carry what is called the teams, officials, media, and sponsors, the TOMS. You remember that, right? And I spearheaded the transportation. Mr. Deering, all of those guys. Yes, that was Star. And I from Kingston and Miami, I pulled together the transportation, the logistical transportation for all the air travel for the World Cup cricket. And we were flying people from, because you had fans coming from India, you had fans coming from all over the world, Australia, that you remember, these places you can't get to the Caribbean in one day. So if people can't get to the place, then guess what? And then when a team have to move. You know, I'll never forget, I remember, the semi-final was up in Kingston and the final was in Barbados the next day.
Movements that one.
So you had to move the fans to Barbados, and these people.
Yeah, you have to move the fans with the players. Yeah. Mm.
No, and because when Australia win and they played in Jamaica, or it was India, I think, whatever the semi-final was in Jamaica, and all the fans now have tickets and hotel rooms waiting for them in Barbados. How them are going to get to this? So after the game finished, people had to check out of them hotel before they go to the game. And the baggage had to get from the hotel to the airport, so they go straight from the game to the airport, so that they wake up in Barbados the next morning. Think about that.
That's what I say, a whole heap of planning that, man. And
because if you couldn't do
precise,
if you couldn't do that, you wouldn't then come. You wouldn't left half the way around the world to come to Jamaica to come get stuck in a Kingston after the semi-final, and you have tickets and hotel away in Barbados, and you miss the first. I remember, these are 2020s. It's not like test match, where if you miss one day, you get the next 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are one day. These are one day. Yeah, one day game. One day.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, 50 over. Yeah.
So would you say that was one of your hardest work, Lord?
It had to be.
But, I say this. I give my all, and I say to people, it's all on the same level.
Okay.
Because, and that's why I will always like to take on the bigger challenge, because it's the same work.
Okay. All right.
I keep telling people, I am into events planning too. And I tell people, say a small event and a big event, no difference. You have to do the same work. Same work you have to do. So I'm glad that you are saying that now on air, because I've been telling people that for years.
No, fulfilling. Fulfilling that task, because that was the untold success of the World Cup. Was that when you think about all those things happening, and we never lost many bags, we never was late enough to affect a game. We got all the priority people, which are the referees and the players, to where they needed to get at the time they needed to get there. You see what I'm saying?
And all of this was done by Air Jamaica.
Well, no, by the conglomerate, but led by the government of Jamaica. Yes. No, because if the others, and I say that, I'm very careful when I say these things, right? Because if it wasn't for the cooperation of everybody else, I could not have done my job. So yes, Air Jamaica led through me.
Because sometimes when I sit back and see how Air Jamaica is no longer in existence, it hurts sometimes, man.
No, I give credit to the government of Jamaica and Air Jamaica at the time. And I am blessed that they entrusted me with the job. But understand this: when I call BWI, Trinidad and Jamaica, sometimes we don't get along.
Yeah.
And I say that I need one of your airplane, and I need you to change your schedule to do this. Them could tell me go to hell, but they didn't. You see what I'm saying? At that time, we all pulled together as a Caribbean, and I'm blessed to have been a part of it. When I went down to a security meeting in Trinidad, and it is one of my honors that it was chaired, that security committee was chaired by the now Prime Minister of Barbados. So to think that I had the privilege of working with a Mayor Motley, albeit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it come because she ran the security. And then people didn't realize that we were flying in troops from Brazil to help secure the event.
Okay.
Right? Because a lot of the smaller islands didn't have enough security personnel, and I like Jamaica and Trinidad.
They're not used to police in this.
Right? And understand this. Anywhere you have Pakistan, it is a red Pakistan participating. The security level is higher because of the whole tourism, terrorism situation.
Yeah.
You know, so think about this. The Pakistani team is, remember, back in those times in 90s, was it when they were bombing Sri Lanka? Remember?
Yes.
The Sri Lankan cricket team. No, it was Bangladesh, right? Was it one of those that remember?
I think of Bangladesh.
Right. Yeah. And Bangladesh was here in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So Homeland Security. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Have to be tight.
Think about this.
No, that's a huge part of the whole plan.
Okay.
The security.
Let me share with you a situation. So Air Jamaica back then, we used to fly to Grenada, Barbados, St. Lucia, all of those islands, right?
Yeah.
The physical airplane would leave New York, go non-stop to Barbados sometime, maybe hop over to St. Lucia and up to Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
And that same physical airplane would then go to Miami that night. That's how you deal with these things. You fly. I couldn't take planes and just dedicate. You understand? Had to do the schedule.
Time too?
And do the scheduled flights.
Okay.
So let us say it was aircraft 669 Yankee. Why? That left New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
At 8 o'clock in the morning. And it ended up back in Miami or Fort Lauderdale at 10 o'clock at night. And then it sleep there and then return and then go back and forth, right?
Okay.
But when we were down in Barbados between Barbados and St. Lucia, we carried the Pakistani team and fans. To Homeland Security, what did they see?
I risk
an opportunity for that airplane that is coming back to America for somebody to put a device on it.
Yeah, I risk.
So security now, that when that plane leave and come back at Jamaica, had to have a full security check before it get back into the US because the FAA
require that to be done.
Scanning. They must scan it, the whole place clean and scan and
and everybody would never. No, but these are things that has to happen in these world-class environments, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's all of these things. There's crazy people.
I'm not going to make you get away today, Richard, because I want to know more about.
I got to run soon. Go do my session work.
I want to know a little bit about your director business at VP as well before you leave. So give us a little bit, because one of the event I remember them so much is Unifest with you at backstage with Gart, and in band and setting up on stage and things like that. I remember you also there was an event that I love, a show actually. It never came back. It was a 2-day event. I think it was One Caribbean Music Festival. Where they had the big display, when VP first started from Randy's record all the way into VP, etc.
Yeah, we had the museum. We had the reggae museum.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a 2-day event. And, best of the best to you, I see at best of the best and things like that. So tell me, all of this, that you have to put together to make VP, be so prominent
like
at all of these musical events.
Like I said to you, right? I'm blessed.
VP shine.
No. VP lets me shine. Let me just make that clear. Because once again, we go back to where I said Richard Lue has no money, right? and I've been blessed to have mentors and people that have given me opportunities. The World Cup, that was happened to be the government of Jamaica that entrusted me. From Mr. Butch Stewart, he entrusted me. Alan Chastity, the Chins today have entrusted me. You know what I mean? So, I'm truly blessed. You get me? And I say to people, I work in reggae music. I could be selling shoes.
And it's a what do you call it? It's a hell of a transition from tourism straight into
but
music.
Entertainment because at Seawind I was always involved in entertainment.
But I mean,
and I give my biggest credit to my mom and her reputation, because my mom was the chairman of some festival.
Yeah, he's moving from one hectic environment to another.
My mother was the chairman of Reggae Sunfest.
Oh, really? Congrats,
yeah,
man.
So all this stuff and I was a part owner of Reggae Sunfest at one time. So all of that stuff, So the Jerk Festival, I'm a part owner. VP brought me here also to New York to produce the New York portion. We have a company called Jerk Festival New York LLC that puts on the Jerk Festival here in New York, and we're going 10 years this year. Hopefully, we're able to do it this summer. So to answer your question, at this part in my life, guys, I produce events. I mean, like we talked about the Barry Salmon event. It gives me really good fulfillment. I represent Jamaica. I meet some of the greatest artists. You know what I mean? I respect the artists. Bob is the one king of reggae music, but there's so much more artists out there that deserve the accolades. And VP Records owns the largest catalog of reggae music in the world.
Yep.
So I am rediscovering Alton Ellis. I'm rediscovering you. I
love what you say. You're rediscovering Alton Ellis and all. That's true.
No, because we take
it's true. It's true.
I'm working with man like Johnny Osborne. I'm working with man like Red Fox. I'm telling you, we did the 40th anniversary.
Hey, people like you, me loving at the business. You know why? Because the word where you just used a while ago, rediscover. Because there's a lot of people who don't even discover some of these artists that you just mentioned a while ago, and these are icons.
We as Jamaicans always complain when other people thief with stuff.
Here you go.
But them not thief it. Them just respect it more than we. So here at VP, I'm blessed. I've been working with some phenomenal artists, and Miss Pat Chin, we just put out her book called A Reggae Music Journey. I was very instrumental in working with Miss Pat, helping pull together that book. It's coming out March 17th, so people need to check it out. When you hear about 17 North Parade, and me as a countryman understanding the history of what 17 North Parade and what used to happen there, in Kingston, and how the music transitioned.
I used to go in there daily.
Yeah. So being part of it, I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream right now. You see what I'm saying? So producing the event is just one of it, big man. I'm working with some current artists right now. Spice, we have an album coming out in the summer. I'm in the middle of the Spice. Guys like Christopher Martin, I'm working very closely with them. Romain Virgo, Queen Ifrica, Janine, Kabaka Pyramid, even though they're not signed to the artist. It's a great time to be involved in reggae music. Yeah. And I thank VP Records for giving me the ability and entrusting me with being part of this vision to represent not only the company, but the artists and the Jamaica, because part of my personal mandate is to maintain the integrity of the music and never let people know that no matter what form it come out into, it's Jamaican music.
True. Absolutely agree with you, Richard. Because I look at it all the time when I go to, especially as I was telling you about the one Caribbean Music Festival. When I went into that museum and see the real artifacts of Randy's records, the transformation from Vincent to Pat, VP Records, and you see everything posted on the wall, and you look back and you say, wow, this is where the music really come from, and it has been, what you call it? There's a archives right here. So VP really have the archives,
Well, we are one off. We are one off.
Well, me say
and
it.
That is
me say it.
No, and that is why we call it our reggae music journey, not the reggae music journey.
Me say it because why me say it? Me say everything there where the other studios, them record label don't even have it.
No, but they do, and like I said, trust me.
If they do, they don't present it like VP presented.
Yeah, because Trojan has done a good job. Chris Blackwell, we know. I mean, so like I said, big man, I just give credit to what's the more the merrier. Mm-hmm. It is those that bring us together.
True.
Music.
True.
But I'm saying music alone shall live.
Yes, never shall die.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be able to take time out and come tell us a little about yourself and the different companies that you work with, work for, and present this, So the next time you come back, because we're going to ask for forward, The next time we forward, we're going to dive more deeper down. Because the things, when you mentioned about the hotel scene and the cabaret, events, them with the AJ Brown and all them things. And I've heard many people talk about it. So, boy, the music, where them used to get back in the 80s and the 90s, it no longer exists on the North Coast. And they would like to see these at the hotels. And you mentioned the reason why, because we're not supporting, the local hotels them. And we need to support the local hotels them so we can get back these type of music, Because
the local hotels is the place that we will find.
And I'm glad you mentioned it.
If I'm a Jamaican and I own a little party, 60-room hotel, would I love to put on a Friday night live band?
Yeah.
Consistently. So you never forget. You know what I'm saying?
True. All right, Lue.
All right.
So we're gonna ask you for hold the line for 1 minute. I want to talk to you after here, and then we're gonna let you go. So we thank you for taking time out your busy schedule and for spending some time.
No man, it is truly a pleasure and an honor.
Yeah.
Where we can talk to the people. I'm humbled for the opportunity. Thank you.
And we're going to give you an open invitation anytime you're ready.
So this is going to sit online now because a lot of people never send me the flyer till early. So people can
going to sit online right on the YouTube channel, and we're going to send the edited version also, just the audio part with you talking everything to the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify.
So then just make sure you share me the link so I can share it.
It's definitely going to happen. So hold the line for us, Lue. We'll be right back with more of the Real Stuff podcast.
Walking on sand and holding your hand, feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland. Enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely blessed. My own homeland. North or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance, or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend. Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Every sky, rock, a steady mental. A quadrillion, coming up. You can fill your belly with a coconut jelly, mango, papa, cane and guinea. There's ackee in a saltfish and a roast yam and banana. Curried goat and a managed water. The Sunday special if you like a revival. Catholic, Baptist or Pentecostal. The house of Jah is there, have no fear. Walk right in and get your share. I'm walking on sand. I'm holding your hand. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. In my own homeland.
Yes. We're back with New Park. We thank our guest this morning, Mr. Richard Lue, for being here with us, Director of Business Development of VP Records. So, Flavius, time for us to get out of here. What do you have to say before we get out of here?
I think this was a very refreshing session, you know.
Telling you.
Bringing back a lot of memories.
Uh-huh.
You know, a lot of things that we need to revisit. We need to revisit a lot of these things. You know, we definitely need to do that.
And
you know,
that is just
needed to do that.
That is just part one. You know?
Yeah, man. So we bring him back as early as we can.
Yeah, man. Very interesting story.
Yeah, man, he has a lot more to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So 30 seconds.
Yeah. Well, it's the usual thing. We have to keep the faith, one, and two, keep our discipline up. You know, we can't let down our guard at no time at all. We have to keep our guard up. Corona and just living in general, you know. Because a lot of people are saying that Corona, you know, the advent of Corona brings out a lot of stuff. Probably, you know, it's like a wake-up call for us. So we have to use it wisely and use it well. We have to learn from what is happening. You protect yourself, but you still learn and see what is happening and how quickly we can adapt, because we have adapted well in this pandemic, you know. So it can show you that you can do a lot of things that you probably thought you couldn't do, but it is there and you can do it based on our adapting to this present situation. But keep your guard up always, and keep it chin up too. You know, all is not lost. Yeah, Franco. So right. until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we cook and curry. We have in Ivy Florence again. We'll be cooking up a storm from Belize.
And we have Dan in London.
Of course, we have Dan.
Going to give us some more
London,
updates of what is happening.
Football. The British.
Yeah, Dan is going to give us an update as what is happening in football in London. and maybe what else is happening on the circuit there as well. So until next time, take care of yourself, your loved one. Well, Friday we have Miss Lee come Friday for Portugal.
Miss Lee from Portland will be back. Yes.
So until next time, take care of yourself, your loved one. Remember, prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. Continue to pray. Keep on praying and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And from the Garifuna language, Queen Lubafu with the Our Father.
You lead us so full. You belong far away away. Ajuguala leva buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Tafina to take us out.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out the side. Me I fi take away me say. I fi.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Shorty, I leave her eyes. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist.